What's up, PTB Nation? Welcome to another episode of Parking the Bus. It is episode 88 tonight. I'm back at home. I'm back in my basement studio here. You see all of the familiar surroundings. It is Friday night, and I'm here to talk some footy. We got a lot to talk about tonight. I'm not going to get to everything I wanted to talk about this week. So there will be more content coming this weekend. I have to, in a moment, I'll get to my first stop on my summer stadium tour. But what will not fit in tonight's episode, I'm going to drop tomorrow. That's going to be Liga Brasileirão. That's going to be Copa Libertadores, okay? And I'll even run down some scores in the early rounds of the UEFA Champions League prelims and the Europa League prelims as well. I'll get to that. Plus, don't forget now, we are into UEFA Women's Euro 2022. So tonight, before I leave, we will talk about the first four matches of the UEFA Euro 2022, okay? 4 matches have been played, and I think the tournament's off to a banging start. I'm so excited for this tournament. I've talked about it. I've played it up a little bit. The day is here. I mean, it comes in the midst of some real fixture congestion. When you cover football in North America and South America, they're playing right now. It adds a little bit to it, but it's still going to get the respect it deserves here on this show, on this airwaves. Hello, everybody watching on YouTube right now, watching on Twitter, or watching on Facebook. No, I am not live. Don't go in the chat and ask me questions or expect a response. I am not live right now. You guys know I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning every day, so there's no way I am live streaming at 9 p.m. at night. Okay, this is pre-recorded. I'm sorry, it's pre-recorded. I'll try to go live on a Sunday night. That's my plan right now. I will try to go live on weekends going forward to try to get some more engagement, because some of y'all have asked for that. I know you've asked for the engagement. So I'm going to try to do some of that. But I've got women's Euro 2020, Euro 2022 coverage basically every night, okay? I may not get to it every night. I may have to do every other night and cover 2 days worth of matches. Not sure yet what the schedule will allow. Plus, it's coinciding with this stadium tour that I'm doing, and I'll be on the road again later this month. So, yeah, let's talk about that for a minute then. Let's talk about the stadium tour. Let's talk about the first leg of the stadium tour, the Bronx, New York City FC, and Atlanta United. First things first, shout out to the crew. Shout out to the staff at Yankee Stadium, at the La Quinta Inn in Stamford, Connecticut, at the Stamford Diner, at the Hard Rock Cafe. Shout out to all the New York City FC fans out there. Y'all were awesome hosts. I mean, you guys made my son's first live match a dream come true for him, and I will be thankful forever for that. I want to thank everybody who allowed my son to hand you my business card. Yeah, I used him a little bit for that. What can I say? Going around the outside of the stadium, handing out my business card, trying to get more eyeballs and more ears to this show. So if you are watching right now, go over to the PTB Media Network's YouTube page. Hit the subscribe button right down there, okay? Subscribe to the Parking the Bus podcast on the PTB Media Network. If you're listening on the podcast, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever you're listening, hit that subscribe button. Hit the 5-star button if you can. Let's get this show out to more people. I got to get the visibility. I'm working hard. I'm getting out there. I'm hitting the streets. I'm handing out business cards. I'm trying to get my name out there. You guys can help me. If you could, I greatly appreciate you sharing the show, rating the show, leaving, a killer comment. And again, New York City FC fans, thank you. You guys are awesome. I don't care what anyone says about New York City FC fans. I was treated, and my son was treated to an absolutely phenomenal experience at Yankee Stadium last weekend. Okay, speaking of that, let's go right into Major League Soccer then, why don't we? And run down the results from last weekend. And I haven't talked about the US Open Cup yet either on this on this show, and we're down to the semifinals. And I meant to talk about it last week, but the mini episode I put out on Sunday was very, very rushed. I was in a hotel room with a 6-year-old that wanted to do something else, so I had to keep him entertained. I really ran through it. I didn't get to do everything I had on my list to do and to say, so I didn't get into the U.S. Open Cup last week. But we are at the semifinal stage. I should start there, I think, with the U.S. Open Cup semifinals. So I'm going to pull this up right now because they played back in June, but I've got all I got to do is pull up one of the last 4 teams so I can pull up the fixture list as it stands now in the U.S. Open Cup. And I happen to pull up the New York Red Bulls. Okay, so we'll go to that. And I will run down the quarterfinal results, okay, as they happened. The quarterfinals were played back at the end of June, to be exact. June 21st, 22nd, and 29 were the 3 dates that these matches were played. June 21st, the first one was the upset, the biggest one. Nobody saw this coming, unless you're Hercules Gomez on ESPN. Shout out to Herc. He got this one right. He called it. LA Galaxy 1. Sacramento Republic of the USL 2. Sacramento Republic move on to the semifinals. They are the last standing non-MLS team. They already were, kind of. Well, I shouldn't say that because there was one other non-MLS team in this round as well. But Sacramento Republic knock out the LA Galaxy, and the Sacramento Republic semifinalists in the U.S. Open Cup, the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, that is, of course. And this is what cup football is all about. Lower league teams knocking out top league opposition. Okay, I'm going to go into this one for just a minute here. The goals here were scored starting off. And actually, fairness to Sacramento Republic, they scored all 3 of these goals. LA Galaxy took the lead in the 18th minute on a Connor Donovan own goal. No, excuse me. Rodrigo Lopez of Sacramento Republic took the lead, gave the lead to the USL side with a 4th-minute goal. In the 18th, the Galaxy pulled level on a Connor Donovan own goal. Went into halftime 1-1. This match was played, I'm assuming it was at the Yankee Stadium. The problem with cup competition sometimes on these apps is the information goes missing. It was 1-1 in the second half, though. 20 minutes from time, in the 70th minute, Luis Fernandez of Sacramento Republic pulls the USL side ahead 2-1. They hold on. This is one of the big upsets. And they're in the semifinals. The last standing non-MLS side in the U.S. Open Cup. This competition is incredibly important to clubs outside of MLS. Okay, I've heard this competition be disrespected. I've heard this competition be mocked. Okay, saying it's no good. This competition has over 100 years of history in it, and it deserves to be respected. And Major League Soccer teams should not be sending out reserve squads in the semifinals. LA Galaxy got what they deserve here. Okay, I'm going to look at the lineup real quick. Here is who came out for the LA Galaxy. Jonathan Klinsmann in goal, the son of Jurgen Klinsmann. He's not the normal goalkeeper. You got to think about that a little bit. This is a semifinal, a chance to get to a final. You win that final and you have a spot in CONCACAF Champions League next year. When are MLS clubs going to get it through their skulls that these things matter? That playing continental football matters. That taking on teams from Mexico matters. Teams from Costa Rica, teams from Canada, that matters. It's not just about the games that fall on the MLS fixture list. It's not all about just getting into the playoffs. I hate when these teams treat this so much like other North American sports leagues, okay? We've heard rumors that the NBA is going to start their own cup competition. I don't know if you've heard that, but I've heard it. It's been making its way around the sports business podcasts, journals, papers, that David Silver of the NBA wants to start an in-season cup competition. He's not exactly calling it that, but that's what it is. Okay? These cup competitions need to be taken more seriously. The Galaxy go 4-4-2. And at right back, they got Kelvin Leerdam, Dupuis and Williams at center back, and Edwards is the left back. These are all there's a lot of second choice players here. Alvarez, Rebolson, Aguirre, and Grandsir in the midfield with Jovelich and Cabral in the attack. This isn't going to cut it in a semifinal. I'm sorry. Let's look at their bench for a moment. Okay, we'll look at the bench for the Galaxy. On the bench, you got Bond, Araujo, Kobai, Zavaleta, Vasquez, Harvey, Chicharito Hernandez on the bench in a semifinal. What disrespect. What do you expect out of a USL team? Now, first of all, newsflash. The level of play and level of ability between MLS and USL is not that different, especially when you put your second choice team out there. LA Galaxy not even taking advantage of the depth they have. Why? To save points on the weekend? You can't come in one of the top 7 places in your conference to qualify for the playoffs. You're going to sacrifice a cup semifinal for a point or two on the weekend? This mentality's just got to get broke in this country. I talked, and you're going to see it tomorrow, actually, on Saturday, July the 9th, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on the PTB Media Network's YouTube channel. I am premiering my first short film, the first PTB Media film ever made. And it's documenting last Sunday's trip and last Sunday's experience at Yankee Stadium. And there's a part in the film where I talk about, or the video, there's a part in the video where I talk about the history of our game of football, the beautiful game at Yankee Stadium. And, you know, I wish I'd made it a little longer, to be honest. I wish I'd talked more about just the general history of Yankee Stadium. Obviously, the current Yankee Stadium and the past Yankee Stadium, the old one. But the US Open Cup has such a history in this country, okay? And I talk about the US Open Cup in 1931 in that video because it has a special significance with Yankee Stadium. So tune in to see that. And these MLS teams just throw it away every season. They just throw it away, what? For a couple of points on the weekend. Ask your fans, ask your supporters, your diehards, not your casuals. My biggest qualm with Major League Soccer today is this focus on the casual fans. This comes straight out of the NFL. This comes straight out of the NBA. And it doesn't work in this sport. There's too much competition. The NFL doesn't have a rival league. The NBA doesn't have a rival league in that sport, okay? On any given Saturday in America, even in the summer when the European leagues are off, there's a plethora of options to watch football on television. You got Mexico, you got South America, tons of football going on right now. Not to mention women's football, which has its audience too. And you know what? And is doing a good job at growing that audience, both in the United States and in Europe. Case in point with the Women's Euro. But Major League Soccer's owners, this is specifically to the owners, think so much about the casual fan. And it's not, I shouldn't say just the owners, because the owners may be a little more forward thinking, but the media covering this league, the legacy media that covers this team, the legacy media can't see past the league competition. It's too much for their brain or for their understanding to have concurrent competitions going on in the same season. Why is there no pressure and no criticism on LA Galaxy for this? Not just LA Galaxy, every other MLS club that's already been eliminated. Listen, I know there are teams in this league that look to get out of this competition as soon as they can. And they don't want a deep run. I understand it's not that financially rewarding. But damn, it's a cup. You're playing for a 100-plus-year-old cup. It transcends, it's outlasted all of the leagues, the ASL, the NASL, Major League Soccer, the USL, the A-League, you name it. It has passed them all. It has outlived them all. Okay, many leagues have come and many have folded. The US Open Cup, the Dwar Cup, as it was called, or the National Challenge Cup, as it was called, has maintained and has stayed alive. It has earned its place, and it has earned its respect with the football culture in this country. So Galaxy put out a team like that. They lose. Good. They should lose. Congratulations, Sacramento Republic. They moved to the semifinals. Who are they going to play? Well, their opponents, Sporting Kansas City. They met the other non-MLS team, Union Omaha, with a large, and the people around Sporting KC are saying the largest ever traveling contingent to go to Children's Mercy Park in Kansas City. Unfortunately, the occasion was just too big for Union Omaha. Sporting Kansas City went 6-0. They advance, and they will host Sacramento Republic in the semifinals. And the other two quarterfinals, it was the Hudson River Derby on Wednesday the 22nd at Red Bull Arena, and it was New York Red Bulls 3, New York City FC 0. Let's take a look at the lineups here as the Red Bulls came out with Carlos Miguel in goal. They went with Thomas Edwards at right back, Aaron Long and Sean Nealis as the center back pairing, while John Tolkien, the 19-year-old, gets the start at left back. Again, not necessarily playing their top side, I should say. Caceres and Amaya playing the double pivot in midfield for the Red Bulls behind the attacking midfielders of Dylan Nealis, Luquinhas, and the number 10, Lewis Morgan. And they're playing behind the striker, Tom Barlow. Okay? Again, not household names here. However, the Red Bulls take care of business. The Red Bulls have the depth here. And when you look at the New York City FC lineup, okay, they went with the backup goalkeeper. It's the trend now in football all around the world. It drives me nuts with my club. It drives me nuts when I see it. It cost Manchester City the FA Cup because they love to play the backup in the cup competition. And Luis Barraza gets the start for New York City in this one. All right. Chanot and Collins do get the start. Ironically, NYCFC puts out closer to a full lineup. It just didn't go their way on this one. The right back is Tavon Gray. The left back is Malte Amundsen with, like I said, Chanot and Collins in the center of midfield. My boy Keaton Parks, former Benfica player, gets the start in the double pivot along with Alfredo Morales, while in front of them you've got Gabriel Pereira on the right. You've got Santiago Rodriguez in the number 10 position and Thiago playing down the left behind the striker, Tati Castellanos, as the PA announcer at Yankee Stadium called him. But this team should have been better. I've seen a lot of these players up close and personal now. This New York City FC team, they could not have been motivated that night. I didn't see this match, okay? The US Open Cup. Happens on weeknights, happens at night. I will be watching and recording the semifinals and the final, obviously, but I didn't get to see this match. I saw highlights after, so I don't necessarily have the explanation as to what happened to New York City FC here, but it is the Red Bulls winning 3-0, and the Red Bulls move to the semifinals, and they're going to go on the road in the semifinals. They are going to meet Orlando City SC, who got by Nashville SC on penalties. Okay, so Hani Mukhtar put Nashville ahead, and this match was played in Orlando. And then in the 90th +4, Rodrigo Adrian Schlegel equalizes for Orlando City and sends the match to extra time. Sean Davis sees his second yellow, and he is sent off, forcing Nashville to play with 10 men in the extra time. They hang on to get the penalties, but in the end, it is Orlando City that will advance to the semifinals. Now, there was a draw live on Football Americas on ESPN. Okay, on ESPN Plus, excuse me. They had the live draw. Hercules Gomez was there with now his name's escaping me, the guy from ESPN FC, who I cannot stand, the Venezuelan guy, but former MLS player. They drew it out. So they drew the 4 teams were in. Okay. They had the pairings already decided. What they had to decide is what teams were going to host. Javi Moreno is his name. Is it Javi Moreno? Now I don't want to misspeak. My it's late Friday and my mind is escaping me right now. But they pulled out the 4 lottery balls out of the pot to decide the order of who plays what matches at home. Okay. Or which team would, no, this was the order to who would play the final. So first one to come out was Sacramento Republic. That means they're not hosting any matches the rest of the way. Okay. They were the one team that has no chance of hosting. Next out came New York Red Bulls. So New York Red Bulls is going away in the semifinals and can only host the US Open Cup final if they meet Sacramento Republic. So it requires them and Sacramento Republic to each win their respective semifinals. The next team to come out was the Sporting Kansas City. So Sporting Kansas City host their opponent, which was already determined in a previous draw, Sacramento Republic, and that means that Orlando City will host the semifinal, and if they win, they host the final. Look for Orlando City it's going to be hard to get them out of this one. I think the Red Bulls also have a very good opportunity to win this competition. I think the winner of the Red Bulls Orlando City tie is going to win the US Open Cup this year. Red Bull fans want a trophy. Their team has been good for a long time now, okay? And I know they don't draw good crowds. I know that they're pretty irrelevant in the New York sports scene. At least many would say so. But they still have a diehard core fan base. And again, this is who needs to be catered to from the league, in my opinion. Not just from the league, from the clubs, in my opinion. You're going to grow your club by growing that core fan base. It's not by pulling in baseball fans or by pulling in Real Madrid fans or Barcelona fans, okay? They've been trying that for 25 years. That doesn't work. Grow the audience you have by treating them right, okay? Build teams that win. Build a match day experience that makes people want to come back. And little by little, you get that organic growth. It's not the same growth you get from signing a Gareth Bale or signing a Chicharito. No, that kind of stuff is very transient, okay? It's very transitional, okay? It's here for a little while, but that wears out quick. You want to build a fan base that is going to last for generations. I'm looking at people my age now, approaching our 40s, okay, that remember the first MLS season. A lot of us don't identify that tightly with Major League Soccer clubs, okay, myself included. I tried. and it never happened. I just couldn't, for different reasons, I just couldn't get that emotional attachment to my local club. Okay. I happen to like the league, though, obviously, because I come on here and I talk about it. My son watches this league, and someday he's going to pick a team that he likes. And it doesn't have to be New England because we live here. This is a new world, okay? We're moving into a streaming age, a real streaming age, where Apple TV will have the entire league for 10 years, okay? He'll be 17 when that Apple TV contract expires. If he wants to support Minnesota United, he can watch them every single week on Apple TV. If he wants to support FC Cincinnati, he can do that. If he wants to support New York City FC because that's where he saw his first game, that decision's going to be all his. But he's going to be a fan of this league. He and the kids he plays with. Okay? And then the next generation will have deeper roots in this league, and that's how you grow this league. The problem is they're trying to grow this game and put it on the level of the NFL, Major League Baseball especially, who have over 100 years in the sports scene, in the culture here in this country. We need to keep the focus on our game. Yeah, you can take what works from those leagues, okay? But look, our sport is on the cutting edge. We're the ones breaking into streaming. ESPN Plus is carried in large part by soccer content. Paramount Plus is carried in large part by soccer content, by the UEFA Champions League, and by CONCACAF qualifiers, by the Brasileirão, the Serie A, you name it, okay? That is how you gain fans. So, the next round of fixtures in the US Open Cup come later in July. When we get there, I will cover it. Let's get into Major League Soccer now, as I am already seeing that Philadelphia have gone up 1-0. They're playing already. They're up 1-0 on DC United. Two teams I'm going to see in about 3 weeks when I hit the road. Again, I'm excited. But Philadelphia have an early one. They go ahead on a goal from Alejandro Bedoya. So, let's move now to last week. I'm going to run down the results, and then we're going to go into the table, and we're going to go into Liga MX, which kicked off last week as well, and finish, like I said, with the Women's Euro. Now, last week's results in Major League Soccer, starting last Saturday. Actually, I read these results to you in the last episode, so I don't need to go to that. We'll go to Sunday's July 3rd matchup. The match that my son and I were at. New York City FC 2, Atlanta United 2. I'm going to say, from watching this up close and personal, I enjoyed this match very much. No, there were not a lot of people there. There was a crowd of about 17,000. It was a holiday weekend. That needs to be taken into account. People go away. People go to the beach. People go to cookouts. Heck, a good chunk of this country was stranded in airports last weekend, okay? I drove around New York City on Sunday, and the streets were quite quiet for New York City standards, okay? There's plenty of pedestrians, but very few cars on the road. And you'll see in the film, drove through Times Square like it was nothing, okay? I went from Times Square to the Brooklyn Bridge, back to the Bronx, in under an hour. It was a real easy driving in New York City last week. The crowd was small, but again, New York City has a core fan base. Okay, and they're not Manchester City fans that are supporting this team because they're Man City light, like some fans will call them. Okay, these are football fans that identify with this club that now has a championship. Who else in New York sports has a championship this decade? Well, decade just started. Okay, the Giants won a Super Bowl and the Yankees won a World Series last decade, in the last 10 years. New York City FC have come into this league and won a championship before the Red Bulls. Okay, they have fans that don't identify with the Red Bulls, that identify with New York. And yes, they look like Manchester City, and that is what it is. It's the City Football Group. Okay, New York is just one of 6 or 7 sister clubs around the world. Okay, but they're all successful. If you notice, last year, City Football Group won the Premier League with Manchester City, won the Indian League with Mumbai City, won the Hyundai A League with Melbourne City, and won Major League Soccer with New York City FC. Okay, so again, they have passionate fans. Okay, that bleacher section out there in right field, excuse me, right, left. I'm not a good enough baseball guy. Out there behind the goal, the bleacher section that's located directly behind the goal is where the third rail we're watching from, and they were on their feet the whole match. They were singing. They were chanting. They have a good fan base. I was impressed with New York City FC. Okay, yeah, it's not perfect. It's not an ideal situation, but when they get in a stadium, and I said in the movie that they will do it someday. When they get in a stadium, whether it's it's the Harlem River Project, or it's on Randall's Island, or wherever they find in Queens, wherever they find a home, okay? Wherever they find their permanent home, in a 20,000 seat stadium or a 30,000 seat stadium, even, that stadium is going to be rocking. Okay, that stadium will be rocking, and that fan base is going to grow when they get a permanent home. But I tie together the the history of teams that have played, soccer teams, football teams that have played games and called Yankee Stadium home in the last century. Yankee Stadium is a big venue. It's a massive stadium for a baseball park. It is enormous. Okay, it's hard to fill that, obviously, and it's also the way it's shaped is not suited. It's not ideal because there are sections of the stadium that have to be closed off because you can't see anything from them. There's sections of the stadium where the seats are facing away from the pitch. It's just the reality of playing football in a baseball park, but there still is a little bit of mystique to it. And both New York City, and I know Atlanta United has struggled this year, but both teams play some good football. It was a good football match to watch, especially up close and personal. New York City NYCFC fans verbalized to me the frustration they feel with their back line right now and how easily they're giving up goals, and they feel like they're bleeding points. They should be higher than they are. They should have more points than they do. And you could see where their frustration come from, because going forward, they do so many good things well, but then they let the other teams stick around, and they let the other team steal points late. There's the talk of the match earlier with Cincinnati a few weeks ago. Same kind of thing, a crazy 4-4 draw. This one was a 2-2 draw. Good to see Joseph Martinez playing for Atlanta United again. I thought he had a really good game for a guy coming back off injury. He had scored midweek against the Red Bulls, and now he scores at the weekend against NYCFC. And how about Dom Dwyer, a name that Major League Soccer fans know, still around, still making a difference. He gets the equalizer 5 minutes from time for Atlanta United. 2-2 is the result. Columbus Crew and Philadelphia Union played to a 0-0 draw in Columbus, while New England Revolution and FC Cincinnati draw 2-2 as well at Gillette Stadium. Minnesota United pick up a big 3-2 victory at home against Real Salt Lake in a Western Conference matchup. Sporting Kansas City continue to struggle this season, and they are a club, again, much like Atlanta United. They're a good club with solid support. They do a lot of things right, but this year they are struggling. Now you can see that all of their hope is in the US Open Cup. This game with the New York Red Bulls saw a long lightning delay, I believe at halftime, because I got back to my hotel from the NYCFC match, and we threw it on, and they weren't playing, and I had to go on Twitter to find out they were in a weather delay. They did come back and finally play the match, and New York Red Bulls do get a winner. They end up winning this one. They get a goal from Aaron Long in the 53rd after the long lightning delay. 3 big points for New York Red Bulls as they look to continue on both fronts, both the US Open Cup and on Major League Soccer. They're in the push for the top of the Eastern Conference. They're a little bit back for the Supporters' Shield, but this is Major League Soccer, and teams drop points, and you can make up points in no time in Major League Soccer. And really, the season from here forward is going to be a lot of fun. This is when the races now start to heat up, and we start to look towards the postseason, which is going to be here before you know it. The months of July and August go quickly. September, it goes quickly. And then in the beginning of October, you have Decision Day. So this is all going to come together very, very quickly this season. Houston Dynamo hosting Charlotte FC at BBVA Stadium, and Houston Dynamo continue their struggles. Makes you wonder how much Hector Herrera, who is joining them now, he's eligible to play this week. I think he's going to play this weekend. He had a huge reception earlier this week, of course, after this match. But at home, they're beaten by the expansion Charlotte FC 2-1. In Nashville, Nashville SC and the Portland Timbers draw 2-2 in front of a huge crowd, a very raucous crowd, a very passionate crowd. Nashville is a hotbed, and I think I said this last time. I gotta get Nashville on the summer stadium tour for 2023. I gotta get to Nashville next season. Although next summer, there's also a CONCACAF Gold Cup, so I may incorporate the Gold Cup into the stadium tour next season. We'll see what happens. And then out in California, late Sunday night, San Jose Quakes 2, Chicago Fire 1. Let's look at the table then. And actually, before we look at the table, we have games from the actual 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, if I didn't say it last week. Monday, the 4th of July, Independence Day. In Florida, Orlando City 3, DC United 5 in the highest scoring match of the weekend. DC United getting much needed 3 points. Their fans are still hopeful that something can turn around this season. It's been a long time since DC United were near the top of the table, since DC United were pushing to make a run in the postseason. We're pushing for trophies. They are the league's original powerhouse. They are the league's original dynasty. They've got to get things right down there in the nation's capital. Colorado Rapids hosting Austin FC. Colorado 2, Austin 3, and Austin FC just having a dream sophomore season right now as they continue to keep pace and try to catch LAFC in the Western Conference and Supporters Shield race. FC Dallas versus Inter Miami. This one finishes 1-1. And LA Galaxy win 4-0 on Monday night over Montreal. I want to call them the Impact. And they get a better performance. Man of the match was actually Ryan Ravelson, who played in the match against Sacramento, which didn't go their way. But you got a goal from Chicharito in the 8th minute. That makes a difference. Joveljic gets a 1 in the 45th plus 4 from the spot. And then Ravelson scores 2, 60th and 79th. And the Galaxy take all 3 points. They're playing later tonight. I'm going to have the record button going. They're playing later tonight against LAFC. So it is El Tráfico late night Friday night. If you're watching this when it streams at about 9 p.m. on Friday night, once this is over, switch over to ESPN Plus and catch El Tráfico. Okay, now this weekend's match. It's rivalry weekend in Major League Soccer. I've got the fixture list down there on the bottom ticker, but we've got Philadelphia hosting DC United. That one's already underway. Last check, Philadelphia were winning 1-0. At 10 p.m. tonight, El Tráfico, LAFC hosting LA Galaxy, and at 10:30, Vancouver hosting Minnesota. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock kickoff time, again at Yankee Stadium, NYCFC versus New England Revolution. I purposely put the premiere of my video on the PTB Media Network's YouTube page to coincide with the end of this match. So after you watch NYCFC New England, go to the PTB Media Network YouTube page. It's only going to air there. I'm not going to stream it on Twitter. It's not going to go on Facebook. Only on my YouTube page, and watch my film. Okay. Again, right there, hit the subscribe button. Hit the little bell next to it so you get alerted. Okay. It's going to alert you 5 minutes before it premieres. 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific, tomorrow, Sunday, July the 9th. Okay. My film will drop. Okay. And then later in the afternoon, 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific, it is the Cascadia Derby. Seattle Sounders, Portland Timbers in Seattle. Huge crowd, I'm sure. Going to be awesome. I'm going to definitely keep an eye to this one. And then you got the night games. You've got Atlanta United hosting Austin FC. You've got Charlotte FC hosting Nashville. Montreal hosting Sporting Kansas City. Cincinnati taking on the Red Bulls. Toronto taking on San Jose. Chicago taking on Columbus. That's an old rivalry that goes back, way back to Chicago entering the league in the league's 3rd season. You got a Florida Classico derby, whatever you want to call it. Orlando versus Inter Miami. A Texas Classico between Houston and FC Dallas. And the Rocky Mountain Cup between Real Salt Lake and Colorado Rapids closes out Saturday's action in Major League Soccer. And then Tuesday, July the 12th, another Texas derby when Austin hosts Houston Dynamo. That is Major League Soccer. Let's look at the table really quickly so we can get into Liga MX. Philadelphia Union, of course, they're ahead right now. Right now, sit top of the Eastern Conference with the 3 points they're holding on to right now. But again, they're in action as we speak. 19 played, 33 points. New York Red Bulls, 32 points from 19. Montreal, 29 points from 18 matches. New York City FC, 29 points from 17 matches. New York City FC, 2 matches in hand there. FC Cincinnati having their best season to date in Major League Soccer. And I'm going to see them on August the 7th, I believe, when they host Philadelphia Union. So I'm going to see Philadelphia Union twice in the next month or so. FC Cincinnati are 5th, 25 points from 18 matches. Orlando City, 6th on the same 25 points. And New England Revolution also on 25 points, holding on to that last playoff spot in 7th place. Charlotte FC, only 2 back of that playoff spot. They have 23. Inter Miami, 22. They're within a game as well. They're within 1 win, and they have a match in hand on New England. As does Columbus and Atlanta United. Columbus has 22 points. Atlanta 20. Season is far from over for Atlanta United. Do not count this team out. I know it has not gone well, but do not count this team out. There is a lot of football still to play. All right. There is still, for Atlanta is actually right at the halfway point of the season right now. They have the whole second half of the season to go. And again, they're only 5 points from the playoff spot right now. Toronto, 18 points in 12th place. And Insigne is starting up. So they're going to get better as well. DC United climbs out of the basement. They have 17 points, as does Chicago Fire. In the West, LAFC, 36 points, still leading, but now only 2 points better than Austin FC. Real Salt Lake is 5 back of Austin with 29 points. All 3 of those teams have 18 matches played. LA Galaxy in 4th with 27 from 17 matches. FC Dallas 5th with 27 as well, as is Nashville SC. What are they doing in the West? Well, when Las Vegas comes into the league, St. Louis. Whenever the next team comes into the league, I think Nashville moves to the East. Their travel budget must be astronomical. What a year to be a team on the eastern half of the United States playing in the Western Conference and having to log all those air miles. But they've got 27 points there in 6th. The CONCACAF champions, Seattle Sounders, are into the playoff spots now. They have 26 points from 17 matches. 2 better than Minnesota, who have 24 from 18, as do Vancouver Whitecaps. Portland Timbers have 23 points from 19 matches. Houston Dynamo, 21 points from 18. And then in the bottom, you have Colorado with 19 points, San Jose with 18, and Sporting Kansas City right now, bringing up the rear. Yes, bottom of the entire league, SKC. This is not where this club belongs, but that's where they find themselves right now. 16 points, bottom, 28th place in the league. The Supporters Shield race right now. It is a 4-team race right now as we speak. But again, New York City with matches in hand can prop them into this race as well. Far from over. There is I say realistically 7 teams that can realistically eye this prize. LAFC is top, 36 points. Austin is second at 34. Philadelphia 33. Red Bulls 32. Montreal and NYCFC and Real Salt Lake with 29. And even LA Galaxy with 27 and a match in hand. They are 9 points back. That's not a lot in Major League Soccer with half the season still to play and with matches in hand. All right, the player stats in the league this week. And we look at the Jesus Ferreira leads the scoring race. He's got 10 goals. Same as Sebastian Driussi and Tati Castellanos, all on 10 goals. Hani Mukhtar and Tisharis Funtas have 9, as does Jeremy Ebuisie and Brandon Vasquez, Jesus Jimenez, Leonardo Campana, Paul Areola, Lewis Morgan, all with 8 goals. So again, you got 11 players separated by 2 goals. This will be a race to watch for the rest of the way. Okay, I'm going to take a real short break here. When I come back, we're going to get into Liga MX. This is the Parking the Bus podcast. Follow me on Twitter. You see my handle right there on the screen. It's at Mike Agostino. That's at MikeAgostinho. Follow the show on Twitter and on Instagram at PTB_media. And if you haven't already, go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe so you can watch the film when it drops Saturday. I'll eventually also put it up on www.parkingthebusmedia.com. I will be right back. Welcome back to Parking the Bus. Let's go to Mexico now. And I got an update actually on Philadelphia and DC United. And it's not good news if you're a DC United fan. It is now 4-0 Philadelphia Union in the 42nd minute. 4-0 in the first half. My heart goes out to the DC United supporters, let me tell you. Let's go to Liga MX and see what went down in round 1 of this league. And I never ended up getting around to covering this last season because things just got so busy and so crazy. But Atlas pulled off the feat of winning back-to-back titles. They are bicampeón. For the first time in decades, Mexico crowns a bicampeón. And Atlas were the number 2 seed. Okay, they beat Pachuca in the final after beating America in the semifinal. Sorry, after America were eliminated by Pachuca. I forgive me, I can't remember anymore. But yes, Atlas eliminated Tigres in the semifinals. Now I remember, with a penalty kick very late. Aldo Rocha finished it in stoppage time, which put them through, and then Atlas win the title in the final over Pachuca. And they went back-to-back after going, I forget how, 60-something years without a title. They win back-to-back titles. So automatically entered in the Campeones Cup, or whatever it's called, where they'll play against New York City FC some point this summer, very soon. But a very strong Atlas team. They came kind of out of nowhere to become strong so quickly. But let's take a look at the Apertura as it stands. All right, it was week 1 last week. Got kicked off last Friday, July the 1st. Mazatlan hosting Puebla, and it did not go well for the home side as Puebla come in and win 4-2 on the road at Mazatlan. Goals in this one, okay, you got Bello and Lopez scoring for Mazatlan, while Reyes, Aristigueta, Barragan, and Escoto all tally for Puebla. Fernando Aristigueta was the man of the match on this one on FOTMob. They got him at an 8.3. That was Friday's match. Saturday, a match I watched. My son and I watched this one in the hotel room. Chivas versus Juarez, and it was hard to stay awake in this one. Good for Juarez to go on the road, to go to Akron Stadium and come away with the point. Chivas look unimpressive, as usual. They can blame the manager all they want. They can blame all these different things. As you know, I do not, if you've seen the show before, I do not agree with what Chivas stand for. The Mexican-only policy. It doesn't just handicap the team on the pitch. It's downright xenophobic. And you know what? And the people in this country, in the United States, and I've said this before, and I don't want to talk about this anymore, but so many of the people that support Chivas, diehard Chivas fans in this country, in the United States, north of the border, in El Norte, okay? Whether they're in California, in Texas, in Georgia, in Illinois, in New York, wherever they're living, these Chivas fans believe in this policy. But if LAFC or FC Dallas or New York Red Bulls or Houston Dynamo came out with this policy where you would only sign American players, and if you were Mexican-American, you had to renounce your Mexican eligibility to play for Mexico in order to sign with the team, they would be protesting these teams to no end. And rightfully so. If an American team does that, I agree they should be protested. But when it's Chivas and it's La Raza, it's okay. I say this and they tell me I don't understand. I'm not Mexican. I'm not La Raza. But again, you cannot have one set of beliefs here and one set of beliefs here and think that they don't clash. Therefore, I cannot get behind Chivas. I cannot understand any Mexican-American supporting Chivas. I don't care if your great-grandfather was a Chivas fan. If my club, if Benfica came down with a policy tomorrow that said Portuguese players only, and if you're a dual national, if you're a dual citizen, as I am, or if you're going to renounce your eligibility for the other half of your dual citizenship in order to play. One, I wouldn't support the team because they would suck. Okay, they would not be competitive, not to win the league. And two, it's not right. I would protest that, and I would do something. First thing I would do is I would not pay membership fees anymore. That's the first thing I would do. My membership I would pull it, and I would not support. I would not have this card right here. Okay, see this? I am a member of the club. I would not have that if my club had the policy that Chivas has about foreign players. So I'm glad they did not win. And I'm sorry to Chivas supporters, but maybe think a little bit more. I'm not saying to stop supporting your team or to stop. Maybe I'm saying stop support. I'm not saying to go support another team. I'm saying to push for a change within your club. This is not right. Necaxa lose at home 3-1. Toluca go in there and get all 3 points. Great start for Toluca. Tigres are beaten at home as well at El Volcan. They lose 2-3 to Cruz Azul. Well, let's look at the lineups here because these are two of the bigger teams in the league. Interestingly enough, Miguel Ortega gets the start for Tigres in goal. Aquino, Diego Reyes, Linchovsky, and Angulo get the start across the back, while Vigon, Pizarro, and Cordova play in the midfield behind the attacking trio of Fulgencio, Tauvin, and my favorite player in Liga MX. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Frenchman. I'm talking about André Pierre Gignac, okay? The former number 10 for the French national team, former West Ham, former Marseille star. He has been phenomenal since joining Tigres years ago now. He's been the best player in CONCACAF for many years. And he nearly carried Tigres to the final in the Clausura playoffs last season, okay? He had nearly done it until Aldo Rocha of Atlas converted a penalty kick in the 96th or 97th minute to propel Atlas past Tigres. He nearly carried them to another final. This guy is legit. This guy is a legend in Mexican league context. And yeah, it's too bad that people haven't given this league a chance. And English-speaking people in this country haven't given this league enough of a chance because they're missing out on some real good football, some real good performances. This is the number one watched football league in America, in the United States in America, in los Estados Unidos. Whether it's on Univision, whether it's on Fox Sports Español, whether it's on Galavisión, whether it's on 2DNA, wherever you get it, okay, wherever Liga MX airs. The TV ratings beat Major League Soccer, but that's nothing to hang your head on because they beat Bundesliga. Liga MX ratings beat the Premier League almost every week when they're head to head. Okay, this league is worth watching. For Cruz Azul, Roca gets the start. In goal, Escobar, Dominguez, Abraham, and Majorga across the back. In midfield, a midfield three with Eric Lira holding it down in the anchor. Angel Romero is the right center back with Rafael Baca playing as the left center back. Up front, you have Tabo Jimenez and Antuña in the trio of attack there. And you got goals in this one from Baca, Romero, and Jimenez wins it for Los Cimenteros for Cruz Azul in the 90th +3 from the penalty spot. Tauvin and Cordova pulled tallies for Tigres. And that is a great start for Cruz Azul. And in another match of massive clubs at the Azteca, America versus the champions Atlas. And I suppose if you're America, you're going to be happy with this result. It's a 0-0 draw, but it's against the champions. And looking at some of the information here, it was at the Azteca, like I said. I'll look at these lineups real quick. This is the first match of the season. All right, it's a short preseason. I goes with Memo Ochoa in goal. Miguel Layun is the right back. Emilio Lara and Sebastian Caceres, the center backs, with Luis Fuentes as the left back, the double pivot in midfield, Jonathan Dos Santos and Pedro Aquino. The attacking midfielders, Zendejas down the right, that's Alex Zendejas, the Mexican. In the number 10 spot, it's Diego Valdez, and down the left is Roger Martinez with Roman Martinez, the 19-year-old wearing number 200 on his back, gets the start at striker. For the champions, coached by Diego Coca, you've got in goal Camilo Vargas. You've got 5 across the back. This is the formation that won them the title. All right, you got Jose Abella as the right wing back. You've got Anibal Chala as the left wing back. And then Santa Maria, Nervo, and Aguilera are the 3 center backs. Aldo Rocha is the anchor in midfield. Again, one of the top players. He's being talked about for a Mexican national team now. Aldo Rocha, 29 years old. He one of the best players in Liga MX last season. Helped big part of Atlas winning the back-to-back titles, winning both the Apertura and the Clausura in 2021. in 21-22, excuse me. He's got to his left Luis Reyes, and to his right, he's got Edgar Zaldivar, excuse me. And Quinones and Herrera start in the attack. Again, two good sides, two sides that expect to be in the top four of the league, that expect to get that bye to avoid the repechaje, to avoid the wild card playoffs, if you want to call them that, the reclassification. Atlas are going to be happy with the point at the Azteca, and I think America are going to be happy to get a point off the champs. And then Sunday, Pumas 1-1 against Cholos of Tijuana. Atletico San Luis are beaten at home 1-2 by León. León come in with goals from Lucas Diorio and from Federico Martinez. León are another team that have been near the top for a while now. They're always near the top. They're in the semifinals a lot of seasons, and now they're coached by my guy, one of my favorites. I was following him at Independiente del Valle in Ecuador the last season and a half. He led them to their first ever Ecuadorian title. You can tell by my enthusiasm, he's originally out of the Benfica program. Okay, he was Benfica's B team coach. He was a youth coach at the club. Left a year and a half ago or so to go to Ecuador to manage Independiente del Valle. He took them to the title, their first title ever. He left now in between the two seasons, and he took over at León in Mexico. So I'm going to be a little bit biased towards León, I got to admit, because I am a Renato Paiva guy. And he gets the season started right with a 2-1 win on the road at Atletico San Luis. Congratulations to Renato Paiva. Congratulations to León on 3 points. And then Santos Laguna at home against Monterrey. And Rayados put up a good fight, but ultimately in a 7-goal thriller, it is a 4-3 win for Santos Laguna. While Monday, July 4th, Pachuca beat Querétaro 2-0 at home at the Estadio Hidalgo. Now, let's look at the table here. In Liga MX, Puebla, Toluca, Pachuca, Santos, Cruz Azul, León. And for now, Tigres with 3 points. Tigres lost last week, but they're ahead in their match that's going on right now. I'll update you in just a minute. Cholos, Pumas, Atlas, Chivas, America, and Juarez with 1 point. And then you got Monterrey, San Luis, and Monterrey, San Luis, Necaxa, Querétaro, and Mazatlán, all with 0 points. Early player leaders. The top goal scorer right now, no surprise, he's been one of the top ones for several seasons. It's Monterrey's Rogelio Funes Mori. Yes, another Benfica guy. He's got 2 goals, and then you got a whole slew of guys with 1 goal behind him. Okay, let's look at the match right now. Tigres are up 1-0 at Mazatlán. And guess who? Andre Pierre Gignac with the goal in the 7th minute. So Miguel Herrera's Tigres take the lead, looking to get their first points of the season. Let's go to women's Euro action before we say goodbye. And again, I'm gonna have more episodes here because I have to keep up with this competition. The women's Euro, it deserves to be at the forefront of this show. Of course, I'm going to say on the outset right now that this is going to come at the expense of the CONCACAF W Championship and the women's Copa America Femenina, whatever they're calling it. I just can't cover all. I only have so much bandwidth for myself. Okay, I have 2 jobs. I have I have a family. I can't watch football all day, every day. Otherwise, I would love if I could. I can't. This is the competition in which I'm most familiar with players. This is the competition where I'm more familiar with teams. So this is the competition I'm going to cover. It is not Euro snobbery. I think I've done enough in the 2 years now of doing this podcast to show that I give a lot of love to football in many different parts of the world. But we're going to start with Euro 2022 women's. Interestingly enough, UEFA decided to rebrand this Euro 2022. And a year ago with the men's, they kept the Euro 2020 brand. This was supposed to be played last year. It was postponed for a year to make room for the men's tournament last year, essentially, so that UEFA did not run two Euros in the same summer. So it gives the spotlight to the women as well. It does save the spotlight for them. So here they are now in the midst. They're almost done with World Cup qualifying, and they have to change gears and go into this Euro. This is difficult, but the competition kicked off, okay, on Wednesday, July the 6th. England, the host nation, versus Austria. This match was played at Old Trafford. Yes, Old Trafford in front of 68,871. Great turnout. I'm assuming that's a record. I don't know. I'll find out for sure. But I assume that is a record turnout for a women's Euro match. Congratulations to, obviously, the fans of the women's game in England, the Three Lionesses fans. England, though, they get on the board early. Let's look at the lineups here. Okay. And before I get into this, the teams, I've been asked, who am I watching in this tournament? Okay. You always watch the host, England. Not only are they the host, they're also a good team. They were in the semifinals of the World Cup in 2019. So they are a strong team, okay? And they managed to pry the manager from the World Cup finalists, the Netherlands, okay? So they've got a Dutch manager now, England does, okay? Her name is Serena Wiegman. And she is the manager of England now. She was managing the Netherlands at the World Cup in 2019. Took them all the way to the final. Now she's hoping to bring home the title, to bring home the silverware for the Three Lionesses. Again, they want the English to sing "It's Coming Home." It's got to come home at some point. England have a very good team, though. They're playing a 4-2-3-1. In goal, they got Manchester United's Mary Earps. Across the back, they've got the right back is Barcelona's Lucy Bronze, Chelsea's Millie Bright, and Arsenal's Leah Williamson partner up in the center of defense, while Rachel Daly of Houston Dash here in the National Women's Soccer League here in the United States is the starting left back. Double pivot in midfield for England, and it is Manchester City's Kira Walsh teaming up with her Manchester City teammate Georgia Stanway. 3 attacking midfielders in front of them, okay? And this is a powerful lineup. You've got Beth Mead of Arsenal on the right. You've got Lauren Hemp of Manchester City on the left, and you've got Chelsea's Fran Kirby, who, if I'm not mistaken, is the all-time caps leader for this team. Double checking this for you. I'm double checking on this. She has how many caps here? She has, oh, maybe not. Okay, I'm confusing her with someone else. She has 49 caps and 13 goals. I'm confusing her with somebody else. And then Chelsea's, is it Chelsea? No, it's, sorry. It is Manchester City's Ellen White, excuse me. England is a team I'm watching very closely. Ellen White, Fran Kirby, okay, the goal scorer here, Beth Mead, all big-name players, okay, all play at big clubs. Manchester City and Chelsea are 2 of the best women's football clubs on the planet, okay, and they have their fair share of players from that team, okay. I'm watching them. Who else am I watching? I'm watching France. France is so talented. If you don't know by now, Olympique Lyon are just a beast in women's football. Okay, the French league is very, very good, and the French team is very, very good. And don't let their disappointment from World Cup 2019, sour you on them. They're still very, very good. Who else is very good? Spain is very good. I watched them today. I'll talk about them in a few moments. But Spain also a very, very good team. However, they have been hit by the injury bug, and it's going to hurt Spain. Jessica Huertas and and their star Alexia are out of the competition. Alexia was watching today. She's on the bench in crutches. Alexia Putellas is out. That is maybe the best player in the world. And this tournament has been robbed of the opportunity to see her play. So I'm disappointed about that. Norway are also a team to watch now. They got Ada Hegerberg back in the national team. And I'll talk about her as the tournament goes on, I'm sure. But she's somebody I really, really respect, not just as a footballer, but it's someone who really stands up to what she believes in. We had dare I go into this realm, because the mob may come after me, but we had the we had the equal pay crisis, if you will, or struggle here in the United States, where the women were fighting for equal pay. A lot of them said a lot of things. Very few of them actually sat out to make a statement. Ada Hegerberg sat out for years from her national team. She missed World Cups. She missed Euros. She missed Olympics to make her point that the women needed equal pay in Norway. She's back now. I'm not going to pretend to know the ins and outs of what the pay system is for the Norwegian women's or men's team, but she's back. That has to be a good sign, because this is someone who, when she believes in something, she stands firmly for it. And for that, I respect her so much. But I am happy to see her back in this tournament, back in international football. England pick up a win on a goal from Mead in the 16th minute. Unable to get on the score sheet. Throughout the rest of the 90 minutes, it could have been some first game jitters. There's a lot, these tournaments are long. I like that this is a 16-team tournament. This reminds me of the old Euro that I loved, in the 2000s and in the 2010s, prior to 2016, and in the 90s, when it was from 96 to 2012, when this was a 16-team, when the men's was a 16-team tournament. And it feels like every group has a potential final in it. This group is no different. You have England and Norway and in the same group. Group B, you have Spain and Germany in the same group. Group C, you have the Netherlands and Sweden in the same group. And in Group D, you have France and Italy in the same group. I say 3 out of the 4 of these groups have a potential final in the group, where the two teams, because again, I like the way it breaks down with 16 teams, 4 groups of 4, 8 advance, and now you don't see a team from your group again until the final. You split off, and you used to see it quite a bit where you'd have a first round matchup and then you'd have a rematch in the final, just to build the tension some more. It makes the group stage a lot more exciting. It makes the group, it's not uncommon to get a group of death, so to speak, where you get 3 teams or even 4 that can all realistically advance. And not because 3 out of the 4 will advance, but because there's that much equilibrium, that much parity in the group. England get off, it's the only close, spoiler, it's the only close match of the tournament so far. But England do win 1-0. And then yesterday, we had Norway taking on Northern Ireland debuting in major tournaments. And they met a machine known as the Norwegian women's national team. Goals from Blackstad, Manum, Hansen from the penalty spot. That's Caroline Graham Hansen. And if you watched the World Cup in 2019, you remember she was a very good player, the number 10 for Norway. And then Reiten would score in the 54th. Guro Reiten, that is. There's an assist in here for Ada Hegerberg on the second goal to Frida Manum. Reiten also had an assist of her own on Julie Blackstad's 10th minute goal. Very, very strong Norwegian team. I can't wait to see Norway versus England. That's Group A. In Group B, they played today, and I got to watch these in live action today, and I enjoyed them thoroughly. Yes, they were lopsided results, but I enjoyed them thoroughly. First was Spain versus Finland. And I get excited to see Spain. I like the way they play. They got a lot of Barcelona players. I like the way they play. Just a lot of good things coming out of Spain in women's football right now. Good coaching, good tactics, good team play. Yeah, they lost two of their star players. I think I called her Jessica Huerta. It's Jennifer Hermosa is who I meant to say before. Let's take a look at Spain here, and let's look at their lineup. Okay. Spain came out in a 4-3-3. Paños in goal. Batle, Paredes, Leon, and Ohabi across the back. And a lot of them wear their first names on their shirt. Leila is the name that Ohabi was wearing on her back. She's yet another player from Barcelona, the left back. Very, very good left back. She delivered a few great crosses today. Spain scored 3 goals on headers in this one. Paredes in the 26th, Bonmati in the 41st, Garcia in the 75th. Okay, and that, of course, is, when I say Garcia, that is Lucia Garcia of Athletic Bilbao. Bonmati, Guijarro, and Irene are the 3 in the center of midfield, with aforementioned Garcia partnering with Esther Gonzalez, wears Esther on her back, and Mariona Caldente, excuse me, Catalan spelling. Mariona from Barcelona as well. Very strong team. They come in. They do fall behind, though. Interestingly enough, you have a team like Spain that likes to move the ball, likes to play in possession, likes to control the tempo of the game. And when you're up against that and you're overmatched the way Finland were, not a bad idea to just have your center back play a perfectly weighted, driven ball diagonal into space in behind. She caught Spain a little unorganized, and Linda Salstrom timed her run perfectly. She got in behind. She got a solid strike on the ball. Paños got her hands to it, but she couldn't keep it out. And in the first minute, Finland scored. This match was played at Milton Keynes, okay? And they said during the match that it was a new record attendance for a women's Euro match that did not feature the host. And let's see if I have the attendance here. I do. It was 16,819 at the MK Stadium in Milton Keynes. Excuse me, I thought I was going to sneeze there. It was it was almost silent when Finland took a lead. Shock set in, even among Finland fans. But Spain show, what they're made of. They show that they do not panic. They do not worry. They know how to play this game. They're confident in their beliefs. Okay, so many Barcelona players, like I said. Barcelona just had a season where it was not until the Champions League final that they lost their first match of the season. They had won every single match they had played up to that point. Every league, every Champions League, every Copa League Cup match, they had won them all. The only one they did not win, unfortunately for them, was the Champions League final. And again, like we said, Irene Paredes gets on the score sheet in the 26th minute on a header, which was assisted by Mariona. And then Aitana Bobati will score in the 41st minute on an assist from Mapi Leon. Mapi Leon was selected as the player of the match, or the star of the match, by FotMob. Rated her at 9.4. That is a high rating on FotMob. A 9.4. Very, very good performance for the center back. And they go into halftime up 2-1. And then in the 75th, Lucia Garcia in Spanish, would score on a header on another great ball by Mapi Leon that was delivered right to her. And then in the 90th +5. Mariona hits the penalty. It's 4-1. A little unfair to not unfair, but a little harsh to Finland. They played well, but not enough. And it ends up being a more lopsided result than they probably deserved. But in the nightcap, it was Germany taking on Denmark. This match was played at Brentford, and they had 15,746 in attendance, just slightly under the Spain-Finland crowd. But it was all Germany in this one. There was a play in the first half where Germany hit the bar, hit the post, hit the other post in the span of about 15, 20 seconds. It was off the post, rebound, off the post, rebound, off the bar, rebound. But shortly thereafter, Lena Magul, another team I would watch if I were you, is Germany. One of the original powerhouses in this game as well. Remember, they won 2 World Cups back-to-back after the United States won the 99 World Cup. 03 and 07, it was Germany who won. And Magul basically steals the ball when Denmark are trying to play out of the back, and then walks in, and she blasts it past. She blasts it past Denmark's goalkeeper, Froms, and it is 1-0 to Germany. They never look back. But Denmark hang on for the rest of the first half. They go into halftime 1-0. Denmark make a few substitutions in the halftime, but then it's Bayern Munich's Lea Schuler, the best goal scorer in the women's Bundesliga this season. She scores on a brilliant header as well, across from Magul, and Schuler makes it 2-0. And then Germany run off 4 substitutions in the 3 in the 61st and 1 in the 69th. On comes Alexandra Popp, Elena Letvin, Julie Brand, and Linda Dahlmann, replacing Lea Schuler, Sarah Dabritz, Clara Buell, and Lena Magul, getting them fresh legs. They're going to have a showdown with Spain in this group stage. They're looking forward to that. They're thinking ahead. In the 78th, Lena Latvin will make it 3-0. And then in the 86th, it's Alexandra Popp scoring on a header assisted by Sydney Lohman. And the substitutes come in and make an impact. And that's all you can ask from your substitutes. It's Germany 4. It's Denmark 0. And it is 3 points to the Germans. Here's the tables in Group A and B after match day 1. Norway leads Group A with 3 points and a +3 goal difference. England second with 3 points and a +1 goal difference. Austria and Northern Ireland with no points. In Group B, Germany with a +4 goal difference and 3 points, just 1 goal ahead of Spain with 3 points. Let's look at the fixtures now in the groups. Starting in Group A, so in Group A, they will play again on Monday, June 11th. Austria hosts Northern Ireland, and England versus Norway. Yeah, I got the calendar circled. 3 o'clock Eastern time on Monday, ESPN Plus. England versus Norway. And then in Group B, it's Tuesday, July 12th. Denmark versus Finland in a Scandinavian derby at noon Eastern. And then at 3, it's the big one, the one I just talked about. It's Germany. It's Spain. It's going to be some cracking football. I can't wait till Tuesday afternoon to see Germany versus Spain. And Euro 2022 is here, Women's Euro. I love this. Here are tomorrow's matchup, Saturday's matchup. I'll be back to recap this either Saturday night or Sunday night. But on Saturday at noon, it's my team. It's Portugal taking on Switzerland. I am psyched for this. Yeah, we kind of crept into this tournament through the back door due to geopolitics. But I do believe the only reason we didn't qualify in the playoff was because of coaching errors, a really bad coaching error. But it's kind of a gift to get to play Switzerland first. Okay, we play at noon, 3 Eastern tomorrow. Then is it's an absolute cracker as well. Netherlands taking on Sweden, 2 candidates for the title. Portugal and Switzerland, if they have any hope of advancing, and these are long shots for both of them, they need the 3 points against each other to have any chance, and hope that maybe the Netherlands and Sweden play to a draw, or that somebody loses, and maybe you can steal a point on one of them. But these are two fantastic matches for Saturday. I can't wait. I'll be back to talk about it either Saturday night or Sunday night. And don't forget, my video is dropping at the PTB Media Network's YouTube page. If you haven't already, subscribe now so that you get to see it when it drops 3 p.m. Eastern time. And then while you watch it, have ESPN Plus up and watch the Netherlands and Sweden. So much football to watch on Saturday. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to have a couple screens. And I'm looking forward to it, though. So that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you're on the podcast feed, make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you drop a 5-star rating and a good comment. See if that can get this more visible to more people. All right. And, yeah, enjoy the football this weekend. Again, so much going on. I'll be here to talk about it. I also got to get an episode done this weekend covering Copa Libertadores, Brasileirão, and the Argentine League as well, to bring everybody up to speed, because those are all heating up now. We have our quarterfinals decided in the Copa Libertadores. I'll bring it all to you this weekend. I've got to make the time. I've got to clear it out. And I will do that this weekend. So I will see you soon. This is the Mr. Mike Agustino. I'm signing off now, and I will see you next time here on the Parking the Bus podcast when we talk more football. And we got more to talk about. Again, enjoy the matches. Give the Women's Euro your attention. It's worth it. They play during the day, so you can watch the U.S. women play in the W Championship, on the CONCACAF W Championship at night. You can watch the Copa America Femenina when it starts at night. So lots of football on television right now. Major League Soccer, a full day of action on Saturday. Make sure you catch it. Liga MX as well. Whatever your flavor of football is, enjoy it this weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.